Okay, so let's talk about the Bible. It's obviously one of the most foundational, most important books ever written. But, and let's just be real for a second, some parts of it are just plain weird to us today.
I mean, have you ever been reading along, maybe in Leviticus or one of the prophets, and you just hit a wall? You stop, you reread the verse, and you're just thinking, what on earth does this even mean? If that's you, trust me, you are not alone.
We're talking about things like this. A new mother is considered unclean for 40 days after having a boy, but for 80 days if she has a girl. Wait, what? Or you can eat a locust, totally fine. But a lobster? Nope, that's unclean. And then there's this very specific rule about ancient Israelites not eating a certain hip muscle, all because their ancestor Jacob thousands of years ago walked with a limp. Your modern brain just kind of short-circuits trying to make sense of it, right? It doesn't seem logical at all.
And here's the crucial insight, the thing that changes everything. What if the problem isn't just that these are outdated regulations? What if we're actually encountering a completely different mode of communication, a different language that we first have to learn how to read?
Think about it this way. Our modern Western mindset really loves propositional truth. We want things stated clearly, logically, like a doctrinal statement. Justification by faith. Boom, clear, concise. That's our comfort zone. But the Bible often communicates using symbolic truth. It doesn't just give you a statement, it gives you an artistic vision, a picture, a story, like the image of a sacrificial lamb. That one image is packed with the kind of meaning that resonates way deeper than just pure logic.
Okay, so if it's a language, how do we start to learn it? Well, the first key is to understand that in the biblical worldview, the entire created world is symbolic. The language begins with creation itself.
Let's just take the sun, moon, and stars. Genesis says God made them for signs, which is basically another word for symbols. And what do they symbolize? Rulers and authority. Think about Joseph's dream, where the sun, moon, and 11 stars all bowed down to him. His dad immediately got it. He knew it meant that his father, his mother, and his 11 brothers, the rulers of the family, would one day bow to him. The symbol was the message.
Or what about something as simple as rocks and stones? Well, they consistently represent firmness, stability. That's why God himself is called our rock. But they also represent people. The story goes that we're made from dirt, but through God's work, we're transformed. We're compressed and glorified into living stones or even gemstones, reflecting his own solid and beautiful character.
And trees, they're another huge one. They almost always symbolize people. Psalm 1 gives this incredible contrast. A righteous person is like a strong tree planted by water, bearing fruit for others. But the wicked, they're like weightless chaff, just the useless bits that get blown away by the wind. You see, the symbol itself is telling the whole story.
All right, so we've got these individual symbols, but this is where it gets really interesting. The Bible doesn't just leave them as static pictures. It puts them into motion throughout history. There's a fancy word for this, typology, but it really just means looking at how these symbols are woven together and transformed to tell a much, much bigger story.
Let's track the central place of worship as an example. It starts with the tabernacle, this holy tent, which is basically a mobile, miniature model of the world. Then, that gets a major upgrade. It becomes the temple, a glorious, permanent house of stone, a way more magnificent model. But the final transformation is the most amazing of all. The symbol moves from a building into the people themselves, who are now called a living temple. Each step is a glorification, an enhancement of the last. So why communicate this way? Why not just state things plainly and get on with it? This question gets right to the heart of why all of this really, truly matters. And the reason is, we aren't just brains on a stick. We are complex, whole beings made in the image of God. So God communicates with us in a way that engages our entire person, our intellect, yes, but also our imagination, our emotions, our soul. This symbolic, artistic language strikes us in a way that pure logic just can't, kind of like how a powerful piece of music can move you in a way you can't quite explain with words.
The biblical scholar, James B. Jordan, he put it perfectly. He said this: symbolism, in the Bible, is a mode of communication that is artistic in nature and strikes at the human consciousness in areas that are below and around the mental part. It's a language that's designed to get past our mental defenses and speak directly to the depths of who we are.
So learning to see the symbolic layer isn't just about unlocking a few strange passages. It really opens up a richer, more profound way of reading the entire story. And it makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other languages, What other layers of meaning might we be missing in the stories we thought we knew so well?